Good morning, unicorns. It's Miss Sanders here. Today is Thursday, October 1st, the first day of October. Welcome. And so we are here today. Is Thursday. We're testing today. We're completing our math assessments today, completing makeup assessments this week. And so I just want to let you know that I have been reviewing your test scores. They are mostly exciting and really awesome to see the majority of my students really putting their best foot forward, and the efforts that your teachers have given are clearly coming through. And so just very proud of you. For those of you that are trying and giving it your best, in most areas of assessment, we are either at or slightly above the district average, which is amazing considering that I know that remote learning has been a difficult experience for all of us, but you guys are persevering. And for that, I am just so incredibly proud of you. So keep it up. We're not done yet. We still have quite a few makeup tests to do. Algebra is testing next week, right on Tuesday. So make sure you guys are ready for your assessments. Again, I can't stress enough the power of proper nutrition and getting a good night's rest. Okay. So today we'll continue on with our math testing. During this advisory, if you have not taken your assessments by now, it is imperative that you get over to the makeup session that's happening during advisory. So once you hear this message, your teacher's going to give you the Zoom site for Miss Vite, who is conducting makeup assessments today for ELA. Okay, so please, again, do your best, you guys. I just cannot stress that enough. There are a number of you that have unfortunately just clicked through the test. Some of the data that comes back to me when you guys take your test is when I get to see everything that you've answered. I see all of your questions. I see how much time it took for you to take the assessment, and I can see how many questions you answered. And so it becomes very clear when somebody has a 30 question test taken in 10 minutes that they clearly just click through the test. Now, I know you may be thinking, whatever, I'm just going to get it done, but that really actually is completely detrimental to our test scores. Um, we take the average of all of our test scores, and that's how we determine our school average per content. And so when somebody is just clicking through an assessment, it hurts the overall average. And so I just need you guys to really at least just try. Like, it's 30 questions, and I know it can be grueling and I know it can be stressful. But if you just take some deep breaths and just apply and try, I know you guys can do wonderful things when we put our minds to it and our focus to it. So I'm just going to really reiterate the need for us not to do that. There are consequences for doing that. I do have to call all of the parents of students that have just legitimately just clicked through the assessment and didn't give any effort. You also do not get credit for the completion grade in your grade book that helps to boost your scores, or your overall grade for the class. You unfortunately don't get to qualify for that boost because although you took it, you didn't do your best. So make sure that we are always moving forward, just giving our best effort. With that being said, one thing I do want to just stress and reiterate is that I do think that one thing that we take for granted here in the States is we take for granted our educational system. I think that we think that it's not good. We don't like remote learning. I don't like school. Um, whenever you get in that rut, I always look to books. You guys can see, like, I have books actually all around my home, for those moments of inspiration, to keep me going. And so one of the things I want to share with you today, one of the books I want to share with you today, and one of the heroes that I want to share with you today is that of Malala Yousafzai. She is an inspiration for many people around the world. This book is a very popular book. It was a bestseller for a very long time, because her story is so powerful, right? This is the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban. And because she vocalized her desire to learn, and at a very young age, she understood the power of education. she stood up for it. In the Taliban, women and young girls were not allowed to go to school. And so Malala stood up to that by writing blogs on the BBC, which is the British broadcasting system, or corporation, which is very much just like our news sources here. But in Europe and in the Western part of the world, the BBC is a very large corporation that gives news. And so she was writing blogs on their websites about what her life was like under the Taliban as a young woman, and how a young girl, because she was very young, 12 years old, 13 years old, writing these blogs. And so as a retaliation, a Taliban gunman boarded Malala's bus back in 2012 and shot her in the head because they were so offended by her desire to gain knowledge and education. And they saw her as a threat that they ended up shooting and killing her. And I'm sorry, not killing her. She didn't die. She just got shot. She got shot in the head and miraculously recovered. And so, her fearlessness and resilience in the face of terror, and in defense of education, is why it's just so important for us to be appreciative of what we have, having Wi-Fi, having the right to go to school, having teachers that care about us and push us. And that's just the message for today. And I think that one of the powerful things that Malala shared with us is that I want to read you this quote that she says about education, because it's just one of those things that we constantly have to think about. And so she's talking about how, though we love school, we hadn't realized how important education was until the Taliban tried to stop us. Going to school, reading, and doing our homework wasn't just a way of passing time. It was our future. And I've said this over and over again. I will continue to say it. Education is the passport to a higher purpose, higher opportunities, greater changes in the world, and you guys can be those change agents that help. And again, at 12 years old, this young lady stood up for her life and her educational capacity, and is an activist that has made an impact in this world. And there's no reason why you can't do the same. Make sure you guys are using your voice for good. Make sure you're giving your best effort per usual, and follow the unicorn way. Okay, so appreciate you guys. Have a great week, rest of the week. We'll see you next week on Monday for another message, and we'll wrap up the quarter. Okay, take care, unicorns.